Well, at the same time, the African Union chairperson, Moussa Mahamat, will travel to Khartoum this week to speak to the warring parties. In a statement released last night, the AU urged the military generals to protect civilians. Let's get the latest from the ground now with Voice of America reporter Michael Atit, who joins us from Khartoum in Sudan. A very good evening to you, Michael. Grateful for your time. As someone who's in Sudan tonight, give us an idea of where things stand as far as the fighting.
Thank you for having me. As we are almost completing the third day of the fighting this evening, the tension is still high. The shelling and the bombing and gunshots could be heard within the downtown. The focus and the main battlefield of this fighting since yesterday evening up to today is concentrated on the three main strategic locations that include Khartoum International Airport, the military headquarters, and the presidential palace. It is not clear who controls which location, but the two warring parties for the past more than 24 hours, they have been battling around these three installations and try, as citizens keep on watching and hoping that this might come to an end so life can, become normal again for them to resume their normal day-to-day life. As the shelling and fighting continues, there are signs and symptoms of humanitarian crisis are already surfacing, on civilians. They have been indoors for the past 3 days, but as a human, people need to live, people need to survive. So early today, people, some of the civilians tried to access some of local groceries, local, markets to try to get something for them and for their families to survive on. We have heard some reports this afternoon from the Sudanese doctors that the bombing and shelling has hit the main teaching hospital within the Khartoum and other private hospitals as well. So those three hospitals, as I speak, they are shut down and they are out of service. So that itself is contributing so much to devastating humanitarian crisis, as citizens have also been reported among the injuries, and some of them are also being killed based on the reports of the doctors.
And for the benefit of those of us watching what's unfolding in Sudan from a distance, the basic understanding is that there had been simmering tension between the military and these rapid support forces. Among the issues of contention was the fact that the RSF was supposed to be absorbed into the military, but it says that would take up to a decade to do, while the army generals want it to happen within a period of 2 years. Is that the sum total of what has brought Sudan to this point?
Okay, the whole disagreement is rooted in the political interest. Yeah, of course, the two warring parties had played one role of one component, which is a military component, together with a civilian that formed the previous transitional government. But later on, this military component overthrew the civilian in October 2021, and later on they now divided among themselves as well.
Showing you now some of the pictures from earlier as fighting has raged on for another day in areas including Khartoum, the city of Omdurman as well, where a lot of people have been stuck in their homes, unable to leave. On Saturday, we saw dramatic pictures of even aircraft being set alight on the tarmac at the airport in Khartoum, people not knowing what to do, many desperate, hoping that there would have been a better life for all in Sudan when you consider the many civilian-led protests that took place back in 2019, which ultimately led to the removal of the long-time leader Omar al-Bashir. But even when those sit-ins were taking place, led by civilians, there were complaints that the likes of the men involved in this fighting now, the two sides, generals of the army as well as the Rapid Support Forces. They had stolen, basically, victory from civilians, and this is now stalling. People are saying a return to democratic rule in Sudan. We'll stay across the story and bring you all the latest detail as and when we have it.